Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Lord, thank you for this event that we get to be a part of. Lord, just so thankful for the racers, the sponsors, the organizers that made this event possible. Lord, I pray for a heart posture of gratefulness and just this opportunity that we have to support these charities. Lord, I pray for the drivers as they race tonight, Lord, that they just glorify you with the things that they say and do. And Lord, just thankful for them and that they're able to come out here and choose these charities that they want to support. Lord, I pray that we remember that this is bigger than us, that this is for you, for your glory. Lord, that we just come to this with humility and thankfulness for this opportunity, Lord. I just pray that you have your hand over this night and all that happens. In your name we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Drivers, start your engines!
And he served in the army, we lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my
Hey everybody, NASCAR driver Anthony Alfredo here.
Hey everybody, Brennan Gaughan here.
Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR on Fox.
All the drivers competing this year are supporting a great cause because this is racing monthly on iRacing that ultimately supports great causes.
Go out, enjoy, be safe, and have fun.
Car peels on down pit road, and the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, off we go at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Good luck this season. Have a great time. Thanks for what you do, giving money to charity and getting a little iRacing in.
This is a great cause, a fun way to utilize the iRacing community in service to have fun competing against one another and doing good. I hope you guys enjoy racing in the Charity Cup Series. See you on the track.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a fun night. Texas, going to be hot, going to be slippery, going to have some guys having some trouble off corner. And you know how that dog leg can certainly reach out and bite you in a heartbeat. So looking forward to this running here this month.
Oh, 100%. This is going to be a really, really solid event. Very different track than Charlotte from last month. Obviously, we had a great event. Riley Maricchio pulling out the win with Ray Massey and Cody Adkins really putting on a good show there. But yeah, we're in for a treat here. I think we're going to see it's a very different built track. Tires are going to get hot. Got a long race ahead. So I think this is going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. These guys are going to go crazy as we get ready to go over this starting grid here. And starting on the pole here tonight is going to be Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright, wonderful racer. Jaden Johnson in P2. P3 going to be Kyle Bosch, and P4 going to be Ray Massey as Brian Bogner, and Pete Polini going to be in row number 3. Austin Travis and Adam Thompson going to be in row number 4 with Robert Benson, TJ Elaine in row number 5. Chris Rude and Cody Atkins going to be in row number 6 with Jax Matthews and Alan Dice in row number 7. Joseph Sherry and Patrick Wilkinson going to be in that row number 8 with Riley Maricchio and John Gowan in that row number 9. Zachary Smith and S.E. Martin going to be in row 10. And rounding out our field on track right now is going to be Mitchell Dolan and Evan Jenkins. Looks like 22 trucks going to take the green flag here this afternoon. Wow, still riding high on Daytona Day. As we get ready to go green flag. Green flag in the air as we start here for the Charity Cup Series here from Texas.
Yeah, as you definitely tell, these guys are definitely ramped up and ready to go as Jeff J. Wright takes the lead and is pulling away from the pack.
Yeah, I've raced with Jeff J. Wright on several different race leagues. One guy to watch is, it looks like somebody backwards in the back of the pack. Not sure who it was, because it looks like Joseph Sherry, maybe the driver. As they get back going the right direction. No caution, still green flag action. As Jeff J. Wright is way out front of these guys right now. And as I was saying, Jeff J. Wright, somebody to watch all night long. Certainly one of the fastest trucks each and every week as Ray Massey moves into P2 here now. Brian Bogner going to finish out that podium right here, right now. Let's take a look back. Gets on the apron a little bit. Gets a little sideways.
Ooh.
Not really anywhere to go for the 67. I believe that was the 67 machine of S.E. Martin. Nowhere for Sherry to go, or for Martin to go after Sherry got a little loose off corner. And that's going to be a big thing to watch throughout the night is that off corner, especially on those colder, brand new tires.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to see it a lot in these restarts with these cold tires and guys trying to hold the bottom where it feels safe and just, getting a little bit loose. And I think especially out of 3 and 4, that little overcorrect can spark a lot of issues. So as we see these guys creeping up here onto Jeff Wright, that's Jeff's teammate, Chris Rude. They're behind. Ray Massey's in the mix. This is going to be a fun event here. These guys are quick.
Yeah, it looks like we're already going 2x2 here for these front 4 trucks here. As Brian Bogner noses ahead in entry to turns 3 and 4. Going to be a dogfight off the corner here. And Ray Massey had a good race last month at Charlotte, put on a really good finish there. And don't look now, but Austin Travis looking to maybe put his nose in this fight here too, as he's 3rd in line there on the bottom, the number 28 machine there.
And Austin Travis has such a cool story. He was telling me about Phoenix Children's and why that was important to him. He actually had a significant issue with his chest. It's actually something that I have myself, but his was quite a bit more severe. And they did surgery on it, and they pretty much saved his life. And so he feels like he's indebted to, you know, take his skill. He's a very strong iRacer and be able to represent them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him finishing up here in the top 5 with these guys. I think we're looking at some of the strongest guys in the field here out front.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also several right here just off the back of this pack of 5 here looking to make their way up. TJ Elaine moving up into 6th. You know, it seems like as more cars catch up to that top 4, they're able to snag a little bit of a draft and pull one car in at a time, as, you know, Elaine has separated himself from that other pack, kind of put him in between the two here and fighting to maybe get up there. And we might have 2x2x2 before this lap's done.
And one thing that we didn't unfortunately get to see back in January was my buddy here, Jaden Johnson, in the 8 truck. He is quick out of the gate tonight, but his computer crashed, unfortunately, right before we grid for January. So he's making his way up. He's really fighting hard to make a name for himself here in February. Their family company, Johnson & Sons Paving, have been just tremendously generous and helpful in getting this rolling. They were one of the first people that reached out and helped get this going. Jaden is a really, really strong racer with the late models here in Slinger. He was just in New Smyrna running for Speed Weeks. They are an awesome family, and I'm so glad that he's able to participate, run the Johnson & Sons scheme, and really make a name for the Johnsons here on iRacing as well.
Yeah, the late model series, certainly one of my favorite and home, you know, really near and dear to my heart, as that's where I got pretty much a big start in my racing endeavor. I don't do anything with it now, but was a tire guy. Would set up tires for late model stock cars down at Dominion Raceway in Virginia. So late model stocks, certainly, if you've never watched them, one of the greatest shows on asphalt, in my opinion. And, you know, it's just a different breed of racer there. As we see here now, we've kind of shuffled out into a single file here. Ryan Bogner out front of Jeff Wright, with Jaden Johnson, Ray Massey, and Austin Travis in our top 5 here. And again, it looks like another driver adding on to the back. I don't want to say he's my pick, but Adam Thompson, the man from Maryland, you know, you always got to pick the guys that are from your home state. So last time I picked him, it didn't go so well. So we're not gonna pick him. We're just gonna say he's from the same state.
Give him a little shout out. Give him a little shout out. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, racing for St. Jude's Hospital here in you know, the Baltimore, Maryland area. It's a wonderful wonderful hospital, and of course, you know, you spend all this time giving me wonderful things, and I sit here and I'm looking I'm looking through the pages, and I'm like, wow, and I missed the one name that's right there at the top. Well, thank you for the cheat sheet, but man, am I terrible with it, Curtis.
Hey, we'll get the hang of it. It's all right. We're good. I'm looking back here at 13th. Riley Maricchio, our race winner from January, he's putting on a good fight here with the 57 of Alan Dice. Both of these guys, last-minute entries, came out of their Daytona watch parties and were like, "Hey, you got room?" And I'm like, "Sure, we'll take it. We got room." So these guys are going to be putting on a good fight. They are really, really strong drivers. Running side by side here with the 11 of Evan Jenks. He was the last-minute entry. A lot of guys that just came in here after the 500 and said, "Hey, we'd love to come support some great causes, run our paint schemes," and I think we're continuing to see great battles back here, even just to fight for the top 10.
Absolutely, and both Alan Dice and Riley Maricchio last week, or I keep saying last week, that's how quick the month has gone by. It feels like
it does. It does feel like it was last week.
We were just here at Charlotte for the last race, and here we are, race number 2 in February. But the last race, these two were very strong candidates. Alan Dice caught up in a little bit of a kerfuffle towards the end of it, unable to pull off a win. But those two are two guys to look at for to move up through this leaderboard. Also, you pointed out Evan Jenks just a moment ago, as he's our biggest mover as of right now, up 9 spots from where he started. So certainly another guy to pay attention to here as we run as well.
Yeah, I just want to talk about what Jordan had mentioned, how they're starting to go single file and just trying to pick each other off one by one. Texas is not really a tire saving track. Yeah, you need to save tires, but that's any track. And I've mentioned this before in previous broadcasts. If you've watched a bunch of SRM broadcasts over the years, but Texas is a fuel saving track. So what everybody's doing is that nobody's really attacking right now since it's still very early. And so what a lot of the more senior drivers were thinking about is, tire save a little bit, but mainly fuel conservation. So if they can make that fuel last throughout their run for as long as they can before they have to pit, for however many times they have planned out, if there is no cautions, then the higher chance they have of running up higher in the top 10.
Yeah, and a big thing with Texas too, and I mean it happens at a number of different tracks. I off the top of the head, it's kind of hard to say, but Texas is one of those tracks that you get that kind of that false security that you can run it flat out, and you're like, wow, that's a fast time, and then 2, 3, 4 laps go by, and all of a sudden you're plowing to the outside wall, and you're like, oh, what's going on? I could do this flat out. What is going wrong? And you end up burning that right front off so badly that you're not able to turn in and hang that throttle wide open. So you got to be able to conserve the tires early in a run to be able to not overdrive.
That's true, but unlike some of the
Ray Massey has found his way into P2 here now, just by Bogner, and I wonder, a little bit of a dust up there to 69 to Bogner.
Oh, man. That got real close there at the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like the 69 may have tagged the wall, and it shot him directly into the fire, or into the line of the 29 of Bogdan. And it's going to give the 28 here of Austin Travis the ability to maybe make a run. Gonna be able to possibly clear him going into turns 3 and 4, and does, as Jeff Wright has that lead still. We'll see here now. You see the 69 up in the top corner. Gonna come down. No, didn't grab the wall necessarily. Right there.
Well, he did right there.
The wall.
Got it right off the wall. Bounced right down.
It's that exit coming out.
The 33
it's these
there,
cookie cutter
shot
tracks.
To the outside.
It's these cookie cutter tracks. They'll punish you if you try to exit out of the third turn or the third and fourth turn too aggressively.
And I don't think that's the first time we're going to see that either, guys. I think as we get through the race here, as tires start to wear out, these guys, they're going to run the top. They're going to have plenty of room, and then all of a sudden they're going to meet their match on the bottom. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that than just Bogner there. I'm glad his truck is okay, still running top 5. But I would keep an eye on that here on these side-by-side battles out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, and
about lap 140 is when you're going to see that a lot.
The dog leg has always been one of those trickier things. Is it's not like a tri-oval; it's a tri-trapezoid. And you go in there and you think you can carry the speed perfectly through it, and kind of run it out to the wall, and there's an easy chance to possibly slide the rear tires trying to turn around that little bend too quickly, kind of snap the rear end, and as you go to try to save it and catch it, you end up in the outside wall or even the truck to your outside. So it's definitely going to be something to watch as tires wear out as we get a little later.
Really quick, Jordan, I do have a question that I think you would be able to answer more than Curtis could, but I feel like one or two of these names we've seen before in different leagues.
Oh, absolutely. There's a number of different names throughout this field. Like you said, a star-studded field.
Yeah.
The names of Jeff Wright, Ray Massey, for me at least, Cody Atkins, Alan Dice. Those guys race with them in the below the double yellow line racing league for years now, since I want to say about 2017. Super fast guys. Come across Adam Thompson, Riley Maricchio in a couple different leagues as well. Super fast guys. Chris Rude partners with Ray Massey. There is a absolute star-studded field here. and that's saying it lightly.
Yeah, I know. I've commentated a race or several races with Brian Bogner, but I just cannot remember where. It's pretty cool to see all these guys out on one track for this special event. It's really, really cool that they're all doing this.
It's been a fun time trying to recruit some of these guys too. I mean, we're talking about Facebook groups and iRacing official races. I've actually found the most success just going on Twitch and finding these guys, you know, streaming late at night and they're running their NASCAR races. I'm like, hey, you know, are you available Sunday nights? They're like, sure. And you know, they're a little bit skeptical at first. And, I mean, we have guys represented from across the board, bunch of teams. They bring their friends, and this is just how we grow. So it's a really solid foundation, some really strong guys that are running with us. Yeah, it's been a fun journey trying to recruit these guys.
Hopefully one day this grows so big that we have to hold the whole special qualifying events just to get into the race.
100%. And while we're running here,
it's like a whole nother show.
We're running lap 26 at the moment. I know we had a little issue with that graphic there. And I did want to just shout out a couple of our sponsors as we are working on that slideshow on the top as well. Healthy Hearts, Elderberry Syrup, Langer's Auto Spa, which we'll talk about later, Vibrance Media, which we'll talk about later. As we said at the beginning of the show, Johnson & Sons Paving for sponsoring the race itself and some of our upcoming races this year. AdminBoxx for helping us with race control, affordable car care, Lisbon Creek Systems, and then Hydro Hot have all been super generous in contributing to this cause and to help us make this happen. We will eventually get some of those graphics for you guys, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all of you guys who have been supportive of this to make this event possible. To see these guys run really means a lot, and I think it's going to pay dividends here in the months and hopefully the years ahead.
Yeah, I look forward to these events as we go. Got another one coming up in March, going to be at Kansas Motor Speedway. Is it Motor Speedway or is it just Kansas Speedway? I think it's just Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, I think they rebranded just to Kansas Speedway. I'm not totally sure, though.
But going to have the Johnson & Sons Paving Co. 150 there at Kansas as well on March 15th. And then your boy turns 30 the day after. So, you know, as much as I'm looking forward to that event also brings the death to my 20s as well.
Well, we got a fun battle. Oh, we got one on the wall there as Adam Thompson is coming right up on Brian Bogner here with Cody Atkins right beneath him. Gonna have a fun 2-wide battle here. Could see him going 3 wide here on exit if Brian is not able to hold that top. He stays clear and they're side by side behind him.
A little
headed
scuff
into lap 30.
A little scuff there.
Yeah, they're definitely battling all right. They just want to have a little bit of fun with it, you know. Can't blame them. It's Texas. This is a fun track to battle people with, especially if it's your friends and you know how the other guy drives. This is like the track to do it.
I will say one guy who's going to be a big fan of that stage break is going to be my buddy Jaden Johnson here. He and I, looks like he had the same strategy I did there at Charlotte. Little get out front in a moment with the leaders, and then I think slowly fell back, losing his tires. But he's still running strong, sitting in that top 10. But I think that stage break after learning the track, getting the tires, feeling it compared to the late model, I think we're going to see a pretty strong second half for him.
Yeah, and you kind of see now, you know, they always say the cream rises to the top, you know, at racing, you know, with racing. And right now you're starting to see the guys that are, you know, rising to the top here. You know, right here you see Cody Atkins finding his way forward up 5 spots from where we started. Bogner hanging on for that P5 spot right now. And Travis, you know, up to 4th. Elaine up to 3rd with Massey up into P2, and Jeff Wright still leading out front of this thing as we got a 4-car battle here for that 5th place position here as Bogdan gets real tight to the 55. As they go down into turn number 3 here, Bogdan gonna, or Bogner, I keep saying Bogdan. Bogner, my apologies. Bogner gonna move forward just a bit and then close the door on the 55 as Mauricio makes his way through. Oh, a little bobble there by the 32.
Slide.
They are 3 wide entering 1 and 2 here. Riley Mauricio gets the advantage at the bottom. Cody can be right on his bumper with Brian getting the momentum on the top. What a battle we got going here. Getting single file here, coming into the tri-oval, heading into lap 34.
Seems like they may have heard us talking and they were like, hey, we need to back it off a little bit, you know, try to conserve our race. You know, I don't want to crash out now. This is like a horrible time.
I think it's possible.
Yeah, they kind of said, let's do our own thing here.
So we got one guy in pit road right now, the 308 of Mitchell Dolan. Not sure what that one was about. We'll see if he's just stopping in for fuel, trying to beat the strategy. I know we got the stage break coming up here in about 15 laps. Side by side, Cody Atkins and Brian Bogner coming out in the backstretch.
Adam Thompson just has a glorious view, front row seat of this little battle that they're having up there in front of him. Cody Atkins probably going to draft down the front stretch here and then try to throw himself at the bottom of Bogner going into turn 1 and 2. See if I was right. Well, that is probably going to go to the outside, it looks like, because Bogner is going to cover the inside.
Yeah, Bogner and him fighting real hard side by side here. It's one of the best battles that we have going on right now. As everybody's starting to kind of separate here, and we've got to be getting close to that point where people start thinking, you know, when's the time to come down pit road? What's gonna benefit the best? Is it a one stop? You know, is there a possible one stop? I know our chief strategist here in the booth might be able to give a better idea on that. Is strategy is not one of my best subjects.
So sorry, I was trying to look through some other cameras. Can you repeat what you said about your question?
Well, yeah, you know, wondering, you know, when these guys might want to start thinking about, you know, coming in, or, you know, what's going to be the, you know, possible time frame of, you know, looking for that pit stop. You know, can they do it on 1? Can they do it on 2? You know, what's that, you know, look like?
So usually with Texas at this long of a race, you know, being 150 laps, honestly, in my honest opinion, this is like a, you could try, I don't know, honestly, because trucks at Texas, it's been like a very long time since I've even dipped my feet into Texas trucks. Because I'm going off of, you know, the basics.
Jake Johnson into the wall.
Wow, one into the wall.
We got loose out of 3 and 4 on the high side. He's going to have to make his way to pit road. Definitely got some tire damage there on the right side. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, with that being said, I would squeeze out like 10 more laps on these tires before dudes start coming in. I'd say about lap 50, 55 mark, they'd probably start coming in for tires because, you know, I can't see their fuel. But I would assume when they come in for tires, they're going to come in for fuel now. But yeah, that's how I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah. So.
No, they got full fuel for this one. They are fully fueled up.
Full full 100.
3 extra sets of tires for this one. So they will have. If we get cautions late, that tire strategy will be interesting. They're definitely going to come and take tires and full fuel here at the stage break at lap 50. And so we will see that as Jaden Johnson rolled into pit road here. We'll see how much damage he has to that 8 truck. That is a real unfortunate ending for his race here. He might be able to get back out there, but that'll definitely hurt some of his laps.
Yeah, he's gonna have
to
be back some out. Of these guys, he's gonna have to hope some of these guys get out here, start mixing it up, get a couple cautions. You know, make sure he's in that position to make up the laps, and you know, get himself back in order.
Jeff J. Wright, he's just running away with this right now. The gap is 1.5, 1.6 now as we talk, and it's just seemingly increasing as the laps go by.
Looks like Cody Atkins has made his way past Austin Travis into that 5th position. Maricchio sliding into 4th. as they're trying to make their way up to Ray Massey and TJ Elaine. It'll be interesting to see if Austin and Brian start to slide back here. Looks like they might be losing their tires. Adam Thompson fell back quite a bit. I think these guys burned them a little bit hot here with that 50-lap run. You know, that's quite a long run here for Texas.
And I know I said it just a bit earlier. I've run plenty of races with Jeff J. Wright to know that Jeff Wright just knows how to get it done. It doesn't matter how far behind the 8-ball he is in a race. He can always find his way, especially through strategy, to find his way to the front. And being able to start up front and control the pace. You know, you saw him get battled for that lead for a little bit, and I think, you know, it's always one of those things where is you know, the guys around him getting faster, or is he kind of going back and saying, hey, I need to run this? As we take a look here at the 57 of Alan Dice down the backstretch with Adam Thompson in tow.
What's really nice, Brian Bogner gets in the wall there. That was a hard hit for him. Pretty much pulled exactly what Jaden Johnson did there a couple laps earlier. I was going to say, one of the interesting things about these leaders is once you get that front pace, you're really running relative to these other guys, right? If you're running in full pace and guys behind you are pretty slow, you have every right to slow up and ease up on the tires, try and run a little bit lighter just to give your truck some more endurance and depth to run those longer runs. And as they start to approach,
I was going to say, we see here now Bogner comes down to pit road, as well as Adam Thompson making their stops as well. Thompson going to slide nose into the wall. He's going to slam it into reverse and fling it around. Not quite a full flick around, but does get it going in the right direction. It looks like also
call this a
as well.
Reverse Adrian Fernandez. Adrian Fernandez at a race. I forgot which track now. It's been a while since I watched old kart replays on YouTube, but I'll call it on SRM. I always say you pull the Adrian Fernandez if they pull out of pit lane and immediately spin out. That's a reverse Adrian Fernandez. What happened right there? But yeah, it was 5 laps off. Because I said about lap 50 to 55 is when they would start coming in. It looks like they pulled the trigger at lap 45.
And what's going to be really interesting here is if we have that stage break, you know, we're going to have that stage break heading into lap 50. If we run this green, those guys are going to end up being a lap down here likely, especially with the spin. That's going to put Adam Thompson in a really tough spot. And then these guys will pit under caution, and that'll set the field in a really unique spot here for the next kind of half of the race after the stage break. So we'll see what the guys do. I didn't get a full look at what the fuel numbers look like. Some of these guys up front definitely look like they were saving while still managing those tires with how out front they are. We got almost a 25-second gap between Ray Massey out front, 30 seconds now between first place and 10th place. That is probably the biggest gap I've ever seen in a race like this that stayed green. So
that's where I think, you know, this is where I always say it's the notebook. You know, you're writing in your notebook of what happened on that first stint. You know, I know they don't use the word stint in NASCAR, but essentially on that first run, you know, they kind of figure out, okay, I ran 25 laps and then suddenly I turned into a dump truck instead of a Ford F-150 or a Toyota Tundra, or, you know, it just became a dump truck and wanted to plow into the wall. So then you start thinking, you know, how can I prolong that from happening? And, you know, by the time you get to that last run, you got to be dialed in, you got to be ready, you got to know, all right, I can run X amount of laps at this pace and know that it's going to hold. That might even be what gets you, you know, possibly in a situation where we get a late caution, 10, 20 to go, and you know that you can drive your truck as hard as possible for 10, 20 laps. And, you know, that could be the difference between getting a win and not, as caution flies here.
Yeah, one caution.
Yeah, we just had a major development as Jeff Wright has disconnected from this race.
Oh.
That is a major disappointment for him and his truck. He was
what happened.
It says upload packet loss. He just had either a computer crash or an internet error, and he is out right now. That is a very disappointing ending for a truck that was due up for the top 3.
I mean, that was due up for a win with the way that he was driving away from Ray Massey. And that's
It's the
just
equivalent of
crazy.
having a engine blowout, is what Dave would say. He had an engine blowout, which is not possible in iRacing unless you just hold the throttle down. But those are super rare.
Yeah, I always say it's, you know, you have a driveline failure or a blown engine or trans failure, you know, something of that factor is what I always
Mechanical
like to
failures.
call it. Mechanical failure.
Well, it'll be
That's
interesting to
just
see who gets
devastating.
the free pass here, the lucky dog, as the top 8 are on the lead lap and the rest of them behind are a lap down. So that'll be very interesting to navigate. I'm going to jump into race control to talk with Alan to figure out exactly how we're going to navigate this one. And I'll be right back here after pit stops.
So as he steps aside, we're going to be here as looks like, I don't know if Ray Massey's going to make a stop or not. Yeah, he hasn't been down. So from here to 10th, if I can look correctly, are going to be down here on pit road.
Yeah, Ray Massey's coming in right now. And then, if you'll bear with me really quick, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Massey, TJ Allain, Riley Mauricio, Cody Adkins, Alan Theis, John Cowan, Zachary Smith, Chris Rude, Kyle Bosch, Evan Jenks, S.E. Martin, Robert Benson, and Joseph Sherry are all in the pits right now.
Yeah, so that's going to cycle Brian Bogner to the race lead. Now, it may only be about 10 laps difference in tires, but, you know, what's that going to do for these guys that, you know, short pitted and, you know, are they going to be able to make it to, you know, the next 50? And if they have to short pit again, is that going to, you know, mess up the strategy of, you know, 50, 50, 50? And if they come down, say, lap, math is hard. If they come down lap 97, you know, are they going to have 53 laps of fuel? Are tires going to be able to carry you for 53 laps from there?
Oh, they'll make them carry them, but it's going to be very painful.
They'll be screaming by the time they get back to base. As it sounds like we're going to have our producer take a little hop up into the booth here with us. What you got, Liam?
Yeah, Jordan, I tell you what, man, we've seen some incredible stuff. What are you looking forward to most in these next 100 laps?
Well, I'm looking for, you know, somebody to find speed just as much as Ray Massey has. And I know he's not here, but the same kind of speed as Jeff Wright. You know, it's a whole new ball game here now, as, you know, Jeff Wright was kind of walking away with it. You know, I want to see if someone can find that speed here now on this second run to maybe challenge some of these guys that have been kind of separating themselves from this top 5.
Thank you, Jordan. Sam, it's been a while since we've had you up in here, but what has been your favorite thing about being back up in here in the booth with Sim Racing Media?
Well, I know I've been kind of quiet, and I don't mean to be quiet, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to analyze every single driver, because I switched over and I just been scrolling through the cameras and watching each driver, you know, see how they take a corner, see how they've been battling their fellow competitor on track. And what I'm trying to do is analyze everybody with this first 50 laps, so that way I can better call this race the rest of the time that we have throughout the next 100 laps.
It's certainly going to be action.
We've got you up in here. You are the chief cook and bottle washer. You're the guy who makes this happen, and we can't thank you enough for being up in the booth with us. But what has impressed you the most about what you've seen these drivers doing on the racetrack?
I think for me, just the side-by-side battles where we're running 2-3 wide. These guys just, you know, nose to tail, giving each other room, but still holding their lines. Just consistency. I mean, we've seen consistency out of Bogner, out of Mauricio. All of these guys are really, really solid. And I think we're going to continue to see that. We haven't seen a whole lot of three wide racing yet, but I think we're due up for some ahead here after the break.
And And also, Curtis, racing aside, you have thrown together a phenomenal event here and kept it consistent. What more can you say to that, if I could put you on the spot?
Yeah, I think it's been fun to take a concept. I'll be quick. I know we're going to green here. Been fun to take a concept of racing that I've loved as I just jumped into racing in iRacing back in May, to use this for a good cause. Right at the end of the day, my goal is that regardless of who wins, regardless of who's in this race, whether we have one race or 100, 10 drivers or 1,000, that people are able to see why this is important to me, why I'm doing this, why, what my purpose is in life, as to reflect Christ in everything that I'm doing, to be a consistent voice of truth and of encouragement, and ideally make a big difference for a ton of people across the nation here as we're headed to green into turn 3. This is it's fun to see this play out.
Absolutely. As we're green flag racing here, sorry, I didn't mean to, if I cut you off there, Curtis, but back to green flag racing. And but yeah, I mean, I love being a part of this. I love the impact that this is certainly going to make, and I love to watch this continue to grow as we watch these drivers. Their confidence begins to grow as well here on the racetrack.
Little bump
Really
and
close
run
there, battle for second.
And TJ Lane just kind of said, "Hey, Riley, I'm moving you out of the way, dude. I'm not going to try to fight you in the next turn. Like, you are going to move." And so now these two are probably going to battle it out for second as they try to chase down Rhea Massey. Because I know Massey right now, he's thinking, I need to run this truck as hard as I can for the next 10 laps. Because there's going to be 10 laps of hard racing before they settle down. And, everybody tries to find their footing for the next 40.
What's really interesting here is we also got, sorry there, Jordan, we got
no, you're good.
a couple of guys here that are a lap down because they had to pit before the stage break. So you got all the way back until 12th is where that lead lap ends. So the top 12 on the lead lap and all the way back are either at least a lap down. And because, it was part of the strategy, we couldn't assign the wave around there as guys came in to fuel up. So it'll be a really interesting thing here with the lucky dogs, guys fighting for that spot. We're really putting Alan to work here on race control. So we thank him for being able to do this for us and help us out.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like,
So
I was just about to say, Austin Travis registered. And then not shortly after, Pete Polini went off track and brings out our second caution of the night here.
See what happened to Pete.
Yeah, that trial volt.
That's a really weird place to do it, though.
Oh, hard hit there.
I wonder if he got distracted by something.
It certainly registered Travis there as getting wrecked, and then a little bit later it gave Polini as the yellow flag here. But it's coming off that little dog leg. You get a little loose. It looked like maybe he smacked the wall just before the replay started, and then smacks the wall again, coming out of the dog leg, right up into the 69 of Joseph Sherry. So 3-car incident here with Austin Travis, Polini, and Sherry.
Could have been
right
worse.
off the wall there. And then I think what might have happened was after he made contact with the wall, he feared of running over Travis, bouncing off the wall, tried to turn it back to get himself straightened out to the outside. When he did, it unloaded the truck and sent it even further into the outside wall off the dog leg, and that's what sent him back down into Travis. So a little bit of ricochet pinball action happening here, and this is going to change some of these guys' strategy here. It's you might be able to push it a little further than you would have if we stayed green.
100%. Pete's a solid guy. I met him a couple. It's been a couple months now. He's been working with Premier Racing setups on their short track field, running the Great Lakes Academy for sim racing, and an ongoing battle with cancer that he's fighting. So he's representing UP Cancer Care up in Michigan. Really solid guy trying to fight for a cause that's personal to him, and he's just gotten the sim out. He was off for quite a while and just recently was able to get the sim put back together, got a bunch of short track wins, and has been putting up some good laps here. Hopefully he's able to get that car fixed up. They do have the fast repair to use today, which should help them out. I know Joseph Sherry might be in a more difficult spot as that's his second wreck of the day. But just all in all, really, really proud to have Pete and some of his guys, TJ Elaine being in there, as well as Scott Martin, really just making a difference from their friend group and their league to come join us is a real honor.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that, shows up and shows out here for the Charity Cup Series here on Sim Racing Media, as we look to go into multiple races over the course of the next few months, and then put on a great show each and every month. And I really love that premise. You don't get burned out racing every single week. You get to come together with a bunch of great great racers, great guys, great people, and just have fun. That's the big thing around it, is you're having fun while also raising money for good causes across the entire field.
Got 11 cars on the lead lap here. Pace car lights are out. Pace cars dive back into the pit lane. So these guys are 2x2x2x2 all the way across the line.
Yeah, and before we get going back green, I'm going to try to get myself through this. And there's something very near and dear to my heart, and it's up here. Oh, it's hard to say, but we have people racing for causes. I have a different way. I'm speaking for a cause. If you are struggling with mental health and need help, oh man, it's hard. I had a situation back in October of 2023, 24. Wow, 24. I can't remember my years. But there is help available. And speak with someone today by calling 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Your voice needs to be heard, and certainly I hope you get the help that you need and deserve. As we go back green flag racing here, as Ray Massey takes the race lead and dives down in front of Riley Maricchio here out of turn 2. Oh.
Yeah, Mauricio's right there around his bumper, and right behind him is TJ Elaine. As these two are probably gonna try to hook up together and fly in down the inside of Massey. And if Massey makes a mistake, they're gonna be ready, to pull the trigger and make some kind of crazy move to pass him. Because, like I said, on every restart, it doesn't matter how far you are. The first 10 laps of every restart, everybody's gonna be driving as hard as they can before they settle down and settle in. As here comes Riley Maricchio with a move down to the inside of Ray Massey.
Yeah, Maricchio winning in Charlotte a month ago. Certainly looking to go back to back. And I know this would be the second race that we've done here for the Charity Cup Series. He's looking to be the first two-time winner in 2 races. So looking to keep it batting 100 here as he goes door to door with Ray Massey. And Massey as well, one of the hard racers here is as time goes on. TJ Elaine finding his way right there to the back bumper of the 24 machine of Massey.
We had an incredible battle back here for 11th. Patrick Wilkinson, Jaden Johnson making his way back into the top, close to the top 10. Austin Travis. They were 3 wide for a while there on the backstretch and was able to come out of the lane. It'll be interesting to see if Jaden's able to hold that top lane. I know he burned up his tires there earlier. We'll see if he can make an adjustment or if he's gonna stick to it, try and get that track position and run up with those guys up front.
Jordan, do you think that Patrick T. Wilkinson is related to Justin T. Wilkinson by chance from WSRL?
I have no idea, to be honest. That's above my pay grade here on sim racing.
Now, that's a really good point that I was made aware of here. We do have a couple guys that are not in the lead lap, Jaden Johnson being one of them, Scott Martin being another one that is fighting up there. So these guys are actually not fighting for that top 10 right now. They're just fighting to stay with the pack, get that front as far forward as they can to get that lucky dog, as Jaden had issues on pit road from a wreck earlier. So that'll be really interesting to see how the field kind of fights that one out, as we really only have 11 guys on the lead lap fighting for that top 10.
Yeah, and right now about 4 drivers, from how it looks, 4 drivers fighting for that lucky dog spot, which would be Kyle Bosch, Jax Matthews, Chris Root, and Evan Jenks. Those 4 looking to keep each other in their sights and try to fight for that lucky dog. As you see the 11 go to the inside of Wilkinson here now, trying to put some separation between him and Chris Rood to, solidify himself in that lucky dog spot. And, he's just going to be sitting here waiting, for that caution to drop as soon as possible. The sooner the better for him, as, he'll be able to get himself back on track and kind of wiggle around in your simulator a little bit, get yourself resituated and back into contention.
Evan Jenks coming out into the back straight, got super loose, caught it, no drama, nothing crazy, but honestly thought he was about to go around.
As now Riley Maricchio and TJ Elaine at the front of this field. Massey falling back to 3rd here now, under fire possibly for that 3rd spot from Cody Atkins, who's up 7 positions. And I also want to point out Riley Maricchio and Zachary Smith, 2 of the biggest movers here right now. Maricchio up 14 and Zach Smith up 17 positions from where they started.
And we didn't catch
Riley Maricchio really wants it.
Patrick Wilkinson and Zach Smith did have a run-in before the stage break back in, I don't remember what position it was, but Zach was able to save it, burnt up his rear tires to a crisp trying to get that car straight. So he was falling back a while, but that stage break really, really helped him out. He and Patrick stayed out on track, hit during the stage break, and I think Zach's making the most out of it right now, fighting for that top 5 with Alan Dice and Brian Wagner up ahead of him.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of these guys that are currently laps down were the guys that, came down pit road before that stage break. And those guys are still just trying to find... They're still trying to find a way to make themselves move forward. And, once you get kind of trapped a lap down and then have a caution like that, it makes it really difficult to find that lap back, because you don't get the natural cycle through that you would if everything stays green.
100%. It's really
you really just kind of...
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah, what you're really trying to do is you really just, you don't want to prey on anybody's downfall, but when you're in that desperate of a situation, you're just praying for some kind of caution, anything, a spin, debris, which I know they don't have that on iRacing, but in real life, you're praying for a debris caution, something to where you can get that lucky dog and, make your way back up. So number 32, Chris Rood has a little bit of incident.
Chris Rood was almost the bringer of the caution there as he comes sliding off turn 4, as we'll get a replay here momentarily. But man, what a slide and a good job there by him to keep going.
It'll be interesting here on field strategy. A lot of these guys were approaching lap 75 here.
Oh, I see what happened.
So it looks like Jaden Johnson tried to go to the bottom as Chris Rood tried to find his way through the opening. And luckily they don't collide. Johnson, swerves back up the track away from Chris Rood, but he hits the apron. And once you hit that apron, that's a no bueno. That's a certain recipe for sliding around, but saves it. And that's just good driving there by Chris Rood.
You see TJ Elaine, he's pressuring Riley Maricchio pretty hard right now. If he just takes his head down, ducks it down, and just kind of locks in, he can definitely make a good run on Maricchio and pass him. And I see there's a lap car coming up, and that TJ can definitely take advantage of that. It looks like Massey wants that position back as well.
Yeah, Massey starting to turn it back up. And again, that's what I was saying, with Wright earlier in this race, where you saw him take the lead, but, decided to back off, maybe give up a spot or two to cool the tires, bring the pressures back down, get some heat out of it, and then, restabilize your truck and then go back after it, as you see that working to a T here for Ray Massey as he goes to the inside of TJ Lane and sets his sight forward there on Mauricio right there in front of him.
There we go. These two are battling not just for second, but they're both going to be after the leader simultaneously as they're fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, this is great news for Cody Atkins in the back, as he's going to be watching them fight side by side, just trying to save his tires, see how long and how hard they want to fight, as we're about halfway through our fuel window here. Going to see guys probably starting to pull into pit around. They're going to try and hold it as long as they can. With a 150-lap race, they're going to hit that fuel window right at about lap 95 to 105. And so the later they get in, the better off they're going to be for that last run, trying to make it the whole way. So they're really going to want to save their tires, get as much time as they can out of that tank, try and get their lap, get their pit stop in around at least lap 105, if not later, if they can hold it. To make that last run possible. We'll see how long they can go.
I was really paying attention with that first pit stop deal, and really I feel like they might pit a little bit earlier than that, Curtis. I think they might start flowing in about lap 90 to 93, and then maybe the ones who really want to try to push it, like you were saying, might try to come in at lap 100 to 105. But from when they originally started coming in, I really feel like if they played it smart, they're going to come in about lap 90 to 93.
It'll definitely be interesting if they play that out of, because if they can't make that last run, they're going to be hoping and praying on a caution to keep them in the loop with Mauricio and Elaine and Massey, as those guys did stay out as long as they could until that stage break, and then everyone 12th on back went in early. So it'll really make the field all jumbled up. We'll likely space them out quite a bit to the point where a caution won't be as likely. We'll just see how close these guys stay with each other and how well they save their tires.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but I've caught this already. But if you notice, these guys are already single file and kind of spread out. And that's because I noticed very closely that a few of them, not going to say who, but a few of them were starting to slide around just ever so slightly. And I know when you're driving on track, you can really feel it. And so in your head, they're probably thinking, hey, I'm going to back off just a little bit because I don't need to throw away a race this early, trying to take one spot. I can buckle down and get them, most likely on pits or after the pits.
Yeah, I also want to point out that we did have a caution right after the competition stage break. So, some of these guys might even be able to go just a touch further if they really, truly wanted to. I figured we went back racing around lap 55. And, you can find yourself a couple of extra laps by getting a couple pace laps. So, see those guys maybe get a little bit more of a little bit more, fuel in that truck by just having a few pace laps. So, really, I think maybe we might see someone somewhere, especially someone not in this little top 4 pack here, top 5 pack, maybe push it to that 105, just to, say, hey, like, I'm going to have the brand new, freshest stuff. Right as they get done their pit, these guys might have 10 lap older stuff, and maybe one of those guys you're gonna have to change up your strategy. You can't just run the same thing the leaders are, and hope that it sticks.
But remember, some of these guys, it's a really shuffled field from when we started. So whatever strategy they may had at the start, it's probably gone out the window, and they probably are scrambling as they're driving to figure out in their head a new strategy and a new, how hard I need to run here, and should I back off here? When do I need to back off? When do I need to go single file? When do I need to attack? Because, you got TJ Lane and Riley Mauricio. Riley Mauricio was definitely not even where near the front at the very beginning of this race, and neither was TJ Lane. And here they are, they're battling for first. Well, they were, kind of backed off now, but they're probably, thinking in their heads like, hey, now I got to really be smart about this and, play it safe right now and not go crazy.
It'll be interesting to see if TJ Elaine and Cody Atkins partner up, as they're both representing the same cause, which is the Dale Jr. Foundation, as they've been around for a while, and a pretty common NASCAR themed nonprofit or charity, dedicating to giving to underprivileged individuals and focusing a lot on the youth side of things. As Mitchell Dolan, just out of pit road, gets into the wall in the tri-oval. He just got new tires and filled up on fuel, the first one to hit pit road, and he is already dealing with some damage there on the right side of the truck. That's going to hurt his long run speed here quite a bit.
Yeah, it's gonna, it's definitely gonna slow you down once you get a little more wear into that truck. You see here now, though, right here in between the leaders, and it's actually kind of like he's a little bit of a roadblock there for Mauricio, as they're kind of stuck behind this 308.
He is fighting as if he's running for second place right now. I give him credit. He's got faster tires or better tires right now, so he can manage that speed. But hitting the wall there, that definitely set him back to the point where that's given Cody Atkins an open door behind Ray Massey there and TJ Elaine to fight for that top three. We'll see if Mitchell gives Riley a run for his money or if he ends up burning them out and ends up yielding this spot as they approach him very quickly here into the tri-oval. Hopefully he gives them room.
Looks like he's trying to stay out wide.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
you already know what TJ Elaine is thinking, Jordan. You already know what he's thinking in his head. He's like, come on.
Big run.
Look at this view.
That 308 just trying to maybe get up and out of the way of these guys. And that's always the hardest thing is when you know you're the lap down truck, but you know that you have fresher stuff. You may be a little faster. You want to unlap yourself, but at some point, you might get a bumper if you hold up too long.
If I was Massey, I'd be waiting for that lap car to kind of block a lane, and then I would just, easily just slingshot right by him and then try to hold that spot. Honestly, it may not be necessary as, Massey's still trying to make moves. It honestly looks like our lap car here is trying to make moves on Mauricio as well.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that he wants to see is he wants to keep the 308 behind him because it's kind of a buffer, and you have a buffer, you can hold him back, and he's gonna be kind of a rolling roadblock for you, as well as the fact that if those two start getting together and racing each other back there, Elaine and Massey, if those two start racing each other hard, going to be able to spread out a little further from them, as it looks like now the 308 going to possibly prevail here off the corner exit, maybe. And not quite.
It could also just be Mauricio, let him go.
Exactly. I mean, then you give him clear track. Yeah, it's one of those things, but does that dirty air, hurt the 32? What's that going to do for his ride, But we are getting close to that window that we were talking about between laps 90 and 105 to see if these guys start making their moves towards pit road, which should be possibly the last stop, the money stop, as they say it. And, then it's all the chips are on the table. You roll the dice, see where it lands, throw the ball in the roulette wheel, and see how it goes.
Reminds me of the old podcast title that SRM used to have back in the day. Which that was before my time. It was maybe during Liam's early days.
Long before. Yeah, fastest five right now. Chris Rude, Mitchell Dolan, TJ Elaine, Ray Massey, and Riley Mauricio. So Mauricio actually the slowest of that top five right now. Chris Rude currently scored 4 laps down back in 17th.
Yeah, he's on a charge right now. He's on a hard charge.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Rude's certainly one of the faster trucks here tonight. Just unfortunate with the situation off of turn 4. Going to put him behind the 8 ball. Going to need a ton of help here. We're going to have to see these guys get really aggressive and, put themselves in precarious positions to be able to get him back on the lead lap.
Get out of the way, Mitchell. Oh, no. Man, Mitchell's all over the place here, fighting for 3rd and 4th. And he did get out of the way of the top 4. A solid guy. I know he's not trying to ruin anybody's race there. Just got the unfortunate circumstance hitting the wall, and he's got cleaner tires than these guys. But after listening to the driver radio, I can definitely tell you TJ and Riley were not pleased with what they were seeing there.
Certainly not. No, anytime someone is racing you, anytime a lap car is racing you that hard, it's going to, especially in the heat of the moment, it's going to raise your blood pressure. And And I have to fight
yeah.
every inch of your body from exploding. So,
Got an interesting.
Let's take a little bit of
here. I do want
YouTube
to
right
take
now.
a time here. Yeah, as Sam was saying, it'd be fun to tune in here. Who we got viewing? I know Brian Bogner had a fan club that was going to be tuning in. I know Mitchell did have a couple guys tuning in. So feel free to comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to acknowledge you guys. I know some of my buddies are out making fun of me for my first broadcast, so that's always fun. But this is definitely a fun opportunity, get some representation across the country. But hey, we'd love to hear from you guys in the comments.
Absolutely, and I don't know why they would be making fun of you, because you're doing a splendid job, and certainly seem like you've been polished to do this for a while. So maybe a new chapter here for you alongside of the Charity Cup Series. Maybe getting in the booth here and there, when you don't feel like running or can't run. I think you got a knack for it there.
See what happens, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey man, it just takes one random night to try it out, and next thing you know, you're calling races all the time.
Well, I do want to circle back briefly as we kind of got cut off by the green flag there after the caution. But Jordan, you brought up kind of why this is important to you and what's on your heart. And I know just weeks ago you were reaching out about even considering making your own cause for suicide help and mental health and things like that. And I just think that's such a tangent. And we got a battle there. But
smack of the wall for TJ Elaine.
That's gonna hurt.
Elaine just a little bit ago just slamming into the outside wall. It's going to let Massey and possibly Adkins get through.
Speaking of Elaine, the Great Lakes Sim 2026 says, let's go Scott, P, and TJ. So they do have fans out there watching.
Yeah, and to kind of touch on what you were saying there, Curtis, I do have a little bit in mind. I've been looking and researching for making sure that the name that I want to use is available and okay. It's going to hopefully be Tomorrow Needs You. It's very important to me. We haven't really gotten into it a whole lot before, but October 11th of 2024 was supposed to be the end. And it was not. And just about, I want to say, 2 weeks after, I flew to Florida to meet everybody on the SRM team in person, and right then and there, alongside everybody around me.
TJ Elaine.
I'm so sorry. We have
TJ Elaine.
No, you are all good.
TJ Elaine just
like
bit it, entering pit road.
Yeah, he jumped to pits. So it was a strong car here, now finds himself in the pits. He's going to have to get that tow, so he's going to be sitting there, and it may have just exited the
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the MLB, but there is a famous player, Nick Castellanos, who has a reputation for performing.
Don't even start with Castellanos. Do not even start.
Oh,
yeah. Castellanos.
During the worst moment.
As I am the resident Phillies fan, I certainly know a whole lot about the Nick Castellanos curse.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was actually
as soon as I heard Nick, I already knew. But you didn't have to.
TJ,
you didn't have to say his last name.
There.
Said MLB and Nick. I immediately knew where this was going. I was like, "Come on, you're really bringing this up right now."
Oh man. But anyway, yeah, as you were saying, Jordan, I think it's, as I interrupted you, seeing that pit road, it's a great cause. My hope is that through this, people will feel, desire to stand up for a cause that's important to them that may not even exist yet, where they're like, hey, I love this. This is a cool opportunity. I've had something on my heart for a while, and this is kind of fuel to start my own thing or to make a difference. And that is just so encouraging to my heart. So I am hoping and praying that wherever that goes, you can make a difference. Wherever I can help you along the way, just to multiply the effects of just a simple iRacing need like this.
Absolutely. And
Riley,
it's one of
Well,
the,
I
it's one of those things.
want to jump in and properly say this time, Jordan, I cannot tell you how cool it was to be able to meet you in Miami. That was, the weekend of a lifetime, but to be able to meet you, interact with you, and everything, dude. You are a phenomenal human being. I have been there, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yep, and we had several conversations between the two of us. But, you know,
I'm
and
so
that's
thankful
you know,
that you are here, and that is a cause that you were rocking, dude. I don't know, man. Just want to say thank you again for being here.
No, thank you guys for always being there for me to begin with. I mean, again, you guys were the first people that I mingled with outside in the real world after that. I mean, aside from, you know, my family and all that, the SRM team whole is near and dear to my heart because of the fact that just after that, everyone at Sim Racing Media was there, and I was with them, and trying to figure out how to remix into the real world. And as I say, remix into the real world, Ray Massey, Austin Travis, and all these guys look to try to mix themselves back onto the racing surfaces. Pit stops have come and gone. 3 drivers have yet to come down. Scratch that, 2 drivers have yet to come down here now as Zach Smith and John Gowan looking to stay out on the racetrack here for just a touch of a bit longer. As Cody Atkins makes his way off of pit road here. Ray Massey's certainly going to be thundering by him here momentarily. So, I mean, if we get a situation here where somebody goes out on cold tires and loops it around, that's going to put it in a golden spot there for Zach Smith and John Gowan. As Smith now going to make his stop here.
It'll be really interesting to see how these guys stack up after pit road. I know Great Lakes Academy of Sim Racing had a rough day as Pete Polini and then now TJ Elaine are out of the race from incidents. Those guys are strong guys. I'm very hopeful, and you know, I hope that they make their way back to race with us here in March at Kansas. But tough break for 2 guys that were really quick, showed a lot of promise. Right, fighting for some really good causes. I think we'll see them back here, but unfortunate way to end the event for those 2 guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where it's one race a month. I come and have fun. You know, we always take these leagues so serious, and you know, we kind of lose that love for it. You know, when you do something that feels like a job, you don't want to do it anymore. And this league right here, fully and wholesomely, I feel like takes that away to where it doesn't feel like a job. It's like, you know, the same as sitting by a fire with a bunch of your buddies, or, you know, going out and hanging out at a Dave & Buster's or something. You know, you're going and playing games and you're having fun. It's like a tailgate at a racetrack, you know. That's where I think it makes this so great, is it stands out from every other league where there's no points. There's a winner, but the winner, you know, it's for his cause, other people's causes. And I saw some smoke. Don't see anything registering. May have just been a brush to the wall by somebody. But yeah, I mean, this league is purely for raising money for good causes and having fun.
100%, 100%. And that's what makes it so different and unique, is guys looking for a change of pace, even looking to jump into league racing. I know we got one guy, Kyle Bosch, who was a guy who's he's been iRacing a ton, never done a league. And I jumped into his stream. It was like, hey, listen, is this something you'd like to jump in and be a part of? He's like, dude, I'm there yesterday. So he and I worked together, whipped up a paint scheme for his Semper Fi in America fund, something close to his heart. He's sitting back in 12th right now, a lap down, but really promising guy as well on iRacing, does a lot of super speedways, really fun stream. I know he's streaming right now as well. But just shout out to him and a bunch of other guys.
Jump up in here and say that if I didn't have to be behind the scenes, I would be behind the wheel. This league is so much fun, man. These guys are racing super close, super clean. It's incredible stuff.
100%.
As we look on here, Alan Dice currently sitting in P5. Ray Massey, our race leader here, about a second and a half ahead of Cody Atkins. Maricchio trying to find his way up the racetrack. I thought that was Maricchio to the inside of Atkins, but it was not. Maricchio just now going across the start-finish line, as these guys are all kind of mixed in between traffic, and that certainly, when you're in between traffic and other trucks that you're not necessarily racing. I mean, we saw it already with Mitchell and the top 5 there, where they're just kind of there. They're just as fast, they're just as quick. It's easy for someone to step out just a little bit and cause a caution, and that changes everything. So, I mean, it may even not necessarily cause a caution, but the guy gets held up, and you're able to pull up on the guy that's a second and a half ahead of you. So certainly some of these guys navigating through traffic, and going to be interesting to see how this plays out here as we cross the line here shortly for completing 114 laps of 150 here.
Looks like Mitchell Dolan making his way into pit road. I think we're going to see a couple guys follow. I know Jaden Johnson went in early. Some of, I believe, some of the guys running in that 12 to 15 range did make a pit stop before lap 100. I don't have the exact list, but it'll be interesting to see who was able to withstand this long run here in these last 35, 36 laps, and who has to make a last-minute pit entry to fill up on fuel and get those tires.
Yeah, I know pretty much the entire field went in earlier about lap 105, like how you called it earlier. Yeah, it was about lap 105 to just before 110. Pretty much the whole field cycled through while y'all were, discussing what you were discussing. So I'd say that's probably like the last run for most of these guys. So really it's just about conservation and, driving smart and not making any, bonehead moves on track.
Yeah, to his point, I don't think we'll see anybody down unless there is a caution. Even if you're the only guy to come down pit road, you fall back right now to just 10th place. So you wouldn't fall very far. You'd have fresh Goodyear rubbers underneath your race truck and, able to maybe make a big run on the outside of these guys on a restart. So certainly a possibility, but with how these guys run, they run so clean, they run so, so good together. I don't see that being a thing as Chris Rude makes his way down pit road now. He was one of the guys that we were saying made a pit stop early, came down lap 73. Now going to make his final stop as he currently sits about 5 laps under. They got 4 laps off the pace here.
I do want to briefly mention, as we got a little bit of a break here with the single file running, just kind of go through some of the different charities these guys are representing. Just going to kind of cycle through as they are in order. Is it Ray Massey or Rhea Massey? I'm not sure. I've heard it different ways.
I've been calling him Ray.
It's Ray.
It is Ray. Ray Massey. He is, like we said earlier, teammate with Chris Rude. This guy, these are solid guys. Ray is a really solid guy that can race really well too. He's representing Walking and Rolling Costumes along with Chris and their buddies. Really solid organization, just putting together costumes for people that are in wheelchairs, just to allow them to fit in, have something to talk about, and just to kind of make what most would see as a disability more of an ability, an opportunity to spark conversation and bring out their personality through that. Really, really neat organization. I'd never even heard of it before until they joined, so that was really, really neat. Mitchell Dolan right behind him representing his church. That's Harvest Church. We're going to go even more back to Cody Atkins, as we said, representing the Dale Jr. Foundation. Riley Maricchio with American Red Cross. The 22 of John Goen, I had his on here. His was Tunnel to Towers. Had a really fun conversation with some people over at Tunnel to Towers to get a fundraiser page put together and get them the race link so they can follow along, and hopefully we can raise some money for their organizations. They are side by side here in a really tight battle as John Goen, he is fighting in 10th place here with Riley Maricchio in 3rd. Be interesting how that running order ends up there. I'll finish out the top 5 and then we'll cover the rest of these here in a little bit. Alan Dice, also I believe representing the Dale Jr. Yeah, Jordan, you were right with this sheet. It's going to be important to alphabetize this. I feel like I'm going through a encyclopedia to find these drivers. No, Alan Dice was a different one. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Alan is from Augusta, West Virginia. Just a cause close to his heart. And then Brian Bogner representing Canines for Warriors, which is one of the first ones that we connected with. Got the fundraiser page up for them. Really neat organization there. And then I know we already talked about Austin Travis. We'll cover a few more of those. Just wanted to get some of those out and share kind of who these guys are representing, why it's close to their hearts, and some of the guys who will likely be getting some money here today. We're seeing a really, really strong performance out of this top 5.
Yeah, and
no,
Alan
Cody
Dice,
Adkins is closing in on Ray Massey right now. It's very slowly, it seems.
Yeah, I also want to just say Alan Dice, also a man of many talents, many hobbies. It's also in a band called Shadow Planet, and I've listened to them. They're in my daily playlist. And I quite enjoy them. Definitely a different style band, kind of a blend of rock and alt and all of that. So the race car driver, also a musician as well. Just had to shamelessly plug it.
One of the fun. Oh, we got one going sideways entering pit road, and he did save it. Didn't make the pit entry there. Now, I don't know if he was trying to go into pit road or if he was just running too low on the apron, because I know he did already pit, I believe. We'll see what he does here coming back around. But I did want to briefly mention, as hard as of a run it was for Eric Jones today in the Daytona 500, he was very generous enough to let us use the logo of his foundation, the Eric Jones Foundation, represented by Stephen Ray last week. And I worked with the executive director of that foundation to get that played out, as a lot of these organizations do ask that we seek permission before throwing their logos on. But he was kind enough to let that happen. So Stephen put up a really cool paint scheme last month. We didn't get the chance to shout it out. I believe he did split the paint scheme award with Mitchell Dolan in that 308. So excited to see him on track. Hopefully we can continue to raise some money for Eric's foundation, as it's such a good cause. And I know it was a rough finish for him today at the Daytona 500, but I think they've got a good season in store. They looked really strong there at the end.
Yeah, and I was searching for it while we were talking about it, but I wanted to find my favorite costume from Ray Massey and the walk-in roll-in costumes. I had to re-find it so that I could look at it, but it is a combine. Like, it is a full done up with his wheelchair and everything. Is a full combine in his overalls and everything, and I absolutely love it. Like, it almost brings a tear to my eye, because you can see the excitement in their faces in all these costumes, and that is hands down my favorite that we always cover. So just wanted to put that out there for that.
And eventually on our website, we do have a website, charitycupseries.com. Is your place to find all of the information about the league and for donations. And if you want to have your company jump on as a sponsor to help support our cause, that is all on there. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, but we are also going to have a couple pages for the charity info. So you can go in, we'll have some driver and charity profiles on there, so you can further explore kind of who we're supporting, what these causes are, why it's important to the drivers, give you guys as the viewers and the other drivers an opportunity to really do their own kind of research and see why this is so important, and what cool stuff is being done around the nation that we may not even know about.
Absolutely. As we see now, the 11 of Evan Jenks going around Zachary Smith, trying to maybe fight back up to his maybe get a lap back. He has a couple laps down, so a couple of these guys just really running hard out here, trying to find ways to maybe get themselves a lap or two back in case something happens. They might put themselves back in contention here. We're currently right now 8 trucks on the lead lap, and Ray Massey out by 1.5 seconds over Cody Atkins, and Cody Atkins about 3 seconds over Riley Maricchio right now. So that right now, as we run with just 20 to go here at the line, that would be your podium here if everything stays the way that it is.
I do have to
say,
like
I was saying,
That 11 truck, I'll let you go here after this, Sam. That 11 truck is looking good. I hadn't seen that yet fully close up, but I just tuned into Evan Jenks in the 11, and I know he was a last minute entry, probably about an hour or two before the race. He submitted his forms, but he put together a good paint scheme to run for us as he's representing the Wounded Warrior Project, another one of the military nonprofits and campaigns close to his heart.
Absolutely. I just love the premise of all this is, it's surrounded by, dozens and literal dozens of charities, and I can't wait to watch this. I hope this grows to where we have to run, 2 races a day or something, an event. I would love to see that where we, maybe do 2 races and, top 10 move to the final or something of that nature. Like that's
Yeah, so it'll be interesting growing drivers. The goal is that we're going to have that heat racing format, and so we're going to be able to limit the practice time a little bit, as we have almost an hour and a half for the guys to practice beforehand, and you get 2 30-lap heats where, if we get up to 80 guys, you can roster all of those, get the heat sessions in, and then get that 40-lap feature where now we have all these race entry contributions to work with, as well as the generous donations and sponsorships for being able to donate more than $1,000 each event across the different charities. And so we'll see. Like I said at the beginning, my goal is solely that the Lord is honored through this, and if His will is that this is going to grow and be the centerpiece of charity NASCAR racing on iRacing, I am along for the ride. But it's going to take a lot of support and help from others, and I think we're off to a really, really solid start with a good foundation. We found a lot of talent. Now we just need these guys. Even if each of these guys invite one person to the next race, we're talking about over 50 guys that we got to funnel through, which would be really, really awesome.
Right, and I mean that's the general. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Compound interest is one in the finance world.
Right, like that's the general rule of thumb. With any kind of charity or any kind of really anything. Is if you can reach out to one person, that one person reaches out to one, and that one person might reach out to 5, and that's kind of how you get it done. And I mean, we had 25 or 22 start here tonight, and certainly others that just could not make it and wanted to run. So I have no doubt that we can hit that 40 relatively quickly, especially maybe in March. And if each one of those, like you said, reaches out to one, that's just improving our odds at making the differences that we want to make in lives and in people's hearts and everything like that.
One of the fun concepts we're going to be trying to roll out here in the summer, depending on how our traction is here for the spring, is a points and playoff format where different people can form teams. So we already have a lot of teams that are in here, but it's all pretty casual. There's not any points. There's not a playoff involved, but if we get to the point where we have enough guys and we have teams of 4, potentially rolling out a chase format. The chase for the Charity Cup is one of those rolling ideas to get guys to work together to represent a charity as a team. Get a little 5-10 race playoff battle. Bring in some other leagues to have their league represented. Just one of those things where as we gain traction and get our foundation laid, a really fun opportunity to really harness that skill, compound some of the payouts for the charities, and make a big difference over the fall and into next year.
Absolutely. Sounds like the great recipe for a lot of fun and a lot of good to be done, and I'm certainly on board, and I love everything that we've been able to be a part of, and thank you especially for allowing us to be the ones to bring the action for these past 2 races. And I love just being, like I said, these charities are important. I'm able to speak and talk about a charity, not necessarily a single charity, because I think every charity for suicide prevention is near and dear to my heart. But, I'm able to use that voice here too as well. So it makes me feel like I can make a difference as well. So you've really, you've at least touched my heart and helped me start the process of maybe changing lives as well. So
that's cool, man. I appreciate that. We're coming up here at 11 laps to go, coming to 10 to go. Ray Massey out in front. Cody Atkins did close the gap there within 2 seconds of the leader. We'll see if he can make any last-minute moves, try and catch Ray Massey to make a mistake here. Doesn't take much, just a little mess up, a little bit more life in those tires, and we could see a close battle for the lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was watching him
bobble.
for the last 10 laps, and what was happening to Atkins is that he started to gain. He was within I think 0.4 of a second, or not 0.4 of a second, half of a second. And what happened was he just started kind of sliding all over the track, and then he's caught it now. He's stable, but as you can see, he's lost a lot of time, and he's just losing time. And that was over the course of like about 10 to 9 laps that happened. As we have 9 laps to go, we were within our 10 laps to go mark.
You can definitely see the experience coming out in the pit strategy. If you look at the leaderboard here, all the way down to 17th, as far back as 8 laps down. Not everyone is a lap down as I expected. It definitely kind of wavered and got more spread out to where we're 2, 3, 4 laps down. Much more than I expected. And you can see these front runners, they knew, they were planned ahead. This took preparation, took strategy. They were ready to come in with a game plan, and they made adjustments as they needed to, and you can see that paying off big time with this fuel strategy. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. You know, Texas is mainly a fuel race because, you know, these cookie cutter tracks, you really have to manage your fuel. Yeah, you have to manage your tires too, so you can be aggressive and pass and defend, but it's a fuel game. If you run out of fuel, like it's over. Like there's nothing you can do. If you time it wrong, you know, you have to go in like 5 laps before the finish, or else you're not going to make it. It's still messed up. You have to, you know,
Atkins is fallen a little bit here.
Here, 6 to go. Ray Massey really dominating here. Almost 2.5 second gap. Cody Atkins back in second, rather Mauricio in third, about 6.5 seconds behind them. Unless we get a caution here, I'm not seeing much adjustment in the leaderboard here. We're seeing
that would
really,
be a
really
nightmare for Ray.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the absolute last thing he wants.
Ray Massey has absolutely run his race, and I know I would have loved to see him and Jeff Wright, you know, mix and match here towards the end, as those two were certainly two of the fastest trucks on the racing surface here at the start. And just unfortunate what happened to Jeff Wright. I know he would have been right here in the final 5 laps side by side with Massey. Ray Massey's coming up on 4 to go here at the line as we get ready to close out race number 2 here from Texas Motor Speedway. And it's been a phenomenal race, a really clean race overall.
Well, there's Evan Jakes right here. He's one of the lap cars, and it looks like he's trying to pass Atkins here.
Yeah,
hopefully they keep it clean.
Jenks just trying to, you know, get one of those laps back. It certainly makes you feel good when you know you can go up and run and get your lap back. He's got 4 laps to make up about 2.5 seconds to get 1 lap back. But certainly one of the fast trucks here, side by side, Austin Travis and Zachary Smith for position. That's for P6 right now. Is Travis going to have a little bit of a run on the outside through the dog leg? We'll see what happens as they come out of the dog leg. As that high line seems to be working really well there for Travis. Not quite here through turns 1 and 2. Is Zachary Smith going to be able to take the P6 spot away from him? As Massey crosses the line, it gives us 2 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway for the Charity Cup Series.
2 laps remaining for Ray Massey, as he is almost 2.5. Well, now he is 2.5 seconds ahead of Cody Atkins here.
Bringing it into turn 3 and 4, coming to the final lap. What a dominant performance by these front three. I mean, we have seen just incredible speed from Ray Massey. I think he ran up front very well with Chris Rude back in the last race. And as he stated, fun fact, the only driver in this group that is a grandfather. So that is a really, really awesome win for him. That you can see the experience coming out here as he heads into 3 and 4. Ray Massey running for walking and rolling costumes coming out of 4. And he is going to take the win here at Texas in the Johnson & Sons 150.
Yeah, Ray Massey, dominant performance throughout the entire night. Comes through with the win here. Again, as you said, the Johnson & Sons Paving Co. 150 here. Race winner. And again, just a dominant performance. I mean, it was fast and was able to keep the gap with away, in front of Cody Atkins. Cody Atkins going to be your runner-up here tonight for the Dale Jr. Foundation. And certainly no slouch by any means whatsoever.
And just as he's entering 3 and 4 again, we know this race was not because of luck. This was lots of practice, experience, and strategy leading up to the win. And just like these guys, we're all in a race too. Each day is like another lap. We need discipline, experience, and strategy. And our partners over at Vibrance Media, they have the tools designed to help us thrive in that journey. Check them out. They are one of our sponsors. We will have their information on the website, as our graphics were just a little bit touchy today. We weren't able to get that up. But thank you to Phil over at Vibrance Media for his help and support sponsoring this victory lap. So as Ray Massey completes his burnout here doing his little victory lap, we are going to bring him in for his interview. See what he has to say about his performance.
Trying to find him here.
I'm going to jump over and grab him. Just make sure he's ready to go, and we'll talk to him shortly.
Jordan, what did you think about that race?
It was an absolutely amazing race. Everybody was clean. Everybody had, had fast trucks all across the board. I mean, if you look at the best laps between the top three, our podium racers, 30.81 to a 30.96 and a 30.84. And each of these guys finding the speed here, as we now, I believe Curtis has Ray Massey with him now.
Yep. Up here
Someone
with Ray
did beat
Massey.
me to it. I was out there searching, but Ray, you beat me to it. Man, what a race from you. I mean, this was one of the most dominant. I thought Riley had the dominant performance back in January. I think you take the cake on this one, running almost 3 seconds ahead of Cody Atkins. You had the fuel strategy down. You had the tire wear. You outran some lap cars that were in the way. Just tell us about the race and how you felt.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. We kind of have a walking and rolling teammate that joins us tonight, Jeff Wright, and I hate he had connection problems. I think he probably had us all covered, but I was able to step in at that point and try and keep the truck clean. There was some nervous moments out there, and then that green flag pit stop seemed to separate us out a little bit, got me a cushion on Cody, so I just tried to manage that and keep the right front under me.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to let you know that after the race entries that went in today and the drivers we had, you did raise $151 for walking and rolling costumes. Just tell us about kind of that organization, why it's important to you, and anyone you want to thank for being a part of this here.
Yeah, I got hooked up to walking and rolling through my teammate, Chris Rude. He does a lot of work with them, so we're teammates in other leagues as well, so I threw them on my truck here to help raise some money for them, and appreciate, Curtis, what you're doing. This is a great idea. And they help a lot of kids with, they're in wheelchairs, that they create custom costumes for them for Halloween and other special events and that kind of thing, free of charge to the families. They've been doing it for 10 years now. And it puts smiles on kids' faces that'll bring a tear to your eye. So anything we can do to help those guys out, they do a great job. And I want to shout out my dad. He stays in Discord with me, does some pit strategy, so he helps on calculating fuel and stuff, so I don't have to in the car. And I want to thank you guys up there in race control. You're doing a good job, and the league sponsors that help make all this happen. So thanks to all y'all. It was a good run tonight, and all the guys in the field, we had a lot of fun. This was good.
I couldn't believe how clean you guys stayed. I mean, we ran more green flag laps than I thought for Texas. I thought, hey, Charlotte's a good start. Let's go switch it up and make them work for it at Texas. And, well, I don't know what to expect for Kansas now. If we don't have the stage break, we're going to run that thing green the whole time. So, well, hey, we're excited for March. Hopefully we see you and your guys and Jeff with maybe an updated router over for the race at Kansas here on March 15th. So, thanks, Drake. Good race, dude.
Sounds good. Thank you, Curtis. Take care.
Well, we are going to jump to our second place finisher. That is going to be Cody Atkins. And if I think I'm going to beat him. Oh, look at that. I brought him in myself. I am learning Discord so well. Cody Atkins, you are in the broadcast booth. Second place for you. Just a couple seconds behind Ray Massey. Tell us about your race and kind of what more it might have taken to give him a run for his money there at the end.
Race went well. At the end, I don't think I could have made a better pit stop, but I think maybe not short pitting him was a bad idea. But I also didn't want to make the run at the end any longer than it needed to be with how bad the right front tire got as the run went on.
Yeah, I totally understand. Well, I just want to let you know that after all the race entries and drivers we had, you did raise $101 for your organization with that second place finish. Tell us who you're representing, why you chose them, why it's important, and anyone you want to thank here before we move on to third place.
Yeah, I chose the Dale Jr. Foundation. Lifelong Dale Jr. fan and a big supporter of what he does in the Charlotte area. So, yeah, felt right supporting that foundation. Definitely want to give a thanks to my fellow racers over at Blow the Double Yellow Racing League. Brought me over here to race with y'all, and it was been fun.
That's awesome. Appreciate you, Cody. Thanks for participating. Great second place finish there, and hopefully we see you for Kansas in March. Thanks, man.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, we're going to bring in our third place finisher here. He is very used to being in this top three. I think outside of just the Charity Cup, this guy's got a very good iRating, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of him. We're going to bring in Riley Mauricio into the booth. Riley, this is Curtis up in the booth. You got us?
How's it going, Curtis?
Dude, what a performance. I mean, back-to-back top threes. I know you didn't get the win today. Ray and Cody gave you a tough time there. Tell us about kind of your pit strategy, what went well today, and what you think you could have done different to bring it out on top tonight.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with the speeds today. I've only raced here, I think, once before this ever. It was for a league about a year ago. I didn't know if I was running until I texted you not long before. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So send you the money. Had a little bit of practice. I think now that I'm doing some more NASCAR stuff with you guys, I think the biggest thing is just improving green flag stops. You know, what did go wrong on the green flag stop. I missed my box. I was a little too far left. I didn't have the best entry into pit road either. So I think instead of practicing my line for the actual track, I think I'm going to start practicing those because it seems like that's my biggest flaw now. I was praying that the yellow would come out again like we did the first time, so I didn't have to do the green flag pit stop, because I realized during it I was like, oh crap, we're actually very clean today. I might have to do a green flag stop, and you guys saw that one. That's not what I want to do.
Well, after all the finances were worked in order, you did raise $92 for your organization. Tell us just about why you chose American Red Cross and why it's important to you.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, this is more than just the race. There's a lot more to this. And I chose American Red Cross simply because I've been a lifeguard for a few years. I no longer do it, but I'm still a first responder. But the things that they teach you in Red Cross, they do things such as CPR classes and a bunch of different types of trainings. I've personally had to use them before, and I think everyone should just know certain types of trainings that they offer. Overall, I just think it's also a great foundation that anyone should look into. So if you're looking somewhere to donate, American Red Cross is a good spot to go.
Appreciate that, Riley. We had a ton of fun watching you from up here. You got a good paint scheme rolling, and hopefully you can make it for the race in March. We're running to Kansas on March 15th, and hopefully we can get a full field out here, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks, Riley. Have a good one.
Yeah,
Man.
that sounds fun. Can I thank some people quickly?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to thank any friends or family for watching. JTT Racing, just American Red Cross. And yeah, just anyone watching, and you, especially you, Curtis. Thanks for putting this stuff on. This is awesome.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Well, before we go here, Liam, we got 2 more guys. My buddy Austin Travis has been sitting in this interview waiting room for an hour and 41 minutes. This dude has wanted to talk so bad. So we're going to give him his little share of glory here. He's been just such an awesome guy to race with. He ran the iRacing qualifiers at Daytona, finished, I believe, top 15. So, Austin, this is Curtis up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I've got you.
Dude, how was your opening race for the Charity Cup Series? Tell me about it.
Yeah, we were rolling along pretty good there at the start. You know, gained several positions, and just that first caution really came at a bad time for me. I had just come down pit road and put his lap down. We lost a few positions and kind of got stuck towards the back of the pack there. Got involved in an accident there a few laps after that restart, and the rest of the race we were just kind of coming from behind. So got up to P7. Pretty happy with the finish overall, just given how much happened throughout the race. But yeah, it is a really fun deal. A lot of good drivers here. They definitely had me beat on tire saving. Yeah, I definitely need to do some work on that. But all in all, that's a really fun deal. I appreciate you and everybody else putting this whole deal on. It's a lot of fun, and we're making a huge impact outside of just iRacing. With getting all these charities involved. So it's a very cool deal.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming in. We're going to handle two more little awards from the results of the race, but I know we were making the joke you were in the interview waiting room for an hour and 43 minutes, so we wanted to be sure to get you your share of glory on the broadcast here. So thanks for racing with us, and you and I might be racing a little bit more tonight, so thanks, boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll catch you later.
Well, before we go, just 2 more pieces of information. We did have 2 generous donors that sponsored portions of the race. We aren't able to interview them as they're unfortunately not here anymore. But our biggest mover, that ladder climber, goes to, I believe it was Zachary Smith in the 1 truck. He did disconnect, but I believe he gained 18 spots from where he qualified. And then our cleanest driver was also Ray Massey with that 0x. No incident points in that victory for him. A lot of low incident point numbers here. That cleanest driver award was brought to you by Langer's Auto Spa. Travis, thank you for the support. Just want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Any final thoughts here before we close up shop?
I want to interject here. I want to say, 1, congratulations on your first broadcast, for 1, as a commentator. And 2, to never have done this and to be able to pull off interviews like that. Round of applause for you, my friend. Simply magnificent, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that lightly, because I can't do interviews myself. I don't like to do interviews. I try. I sound like I stutter a lot. But no, congrats to you on not only racing in your own league, in your own charity race, but also calling your own charity race as well. It's something that you don't get to do very often, and you did a good job, brother.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Sam, Liam, anything else from you guys here before we read off the results and move on for next month?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for letting me come up here in the booth and do just a little bit of strategizing throughout the race. It was fun. It was nice to sit in and actually see how you guys run things, how you were mentioning and shouting out all the charities and, why people are running what. And, it's just a really special event. And it was really cool to see this firsthand, especially being up here in the booth with, my SRM buddies again, after being away for so long. So I just want to say a special thank you to them and then to you for, giving me this opportunity and, future opportunities as well.
Absolutely. 100%. Thank you. Well, Liam,
Absolutely, and get
Curtis,
ready to
anything
you
for you,
throw
boss?
together an incredible league. You throw together incredible events. And I cannot thank you enough for giving us the opportunity to broadcast it. It's incredible stuff. Got to go through the finishing order here with Ray Massey, winning the race. Then Cody Atkins. Then we got Riley Mauricio, Alan Dice, and Brian Bogner rounding out the top 5. Zachary Smith, Austin Travis, Adam Thompson, Patrick Wilkinson, John Goen, Kyle Bosch, Evan Jenks, Jax Matthews, Scott Martin, Chris Rude, Robert Benson, Mitchell Dolan, Joseph Sherry, Jaden Johnson, TJ Lane, Pete Pellini, Jeff Wright, Curtis Mitchell, Alan Bergen, and Liam Irvig, all SRM guys here now, but cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in.
Disqualify
Curtis, I can't
myself,
thank you enough for allowing us to do this show. And I like to quote Cletus and say, be like Biff. And I like to quote Tony and say, as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Yeah, we're clear. Sorry.